Good evening, everyone. I'm Prabhutoshan Mishra, and we will be discussing the strategy for forestry optional for Indian Forest Services examination. We had completed previously the strategy portion for paper 1, and in this video, we will be presenting the strategy for paper 2. So, uh, good evening, everyone. And this video is assisted by Forestudy, and Forestudy is a online platform that helps learner specifically in Indian Forest Services examination. So uh, if you want to connect with the platform, you can. Okay, so we will start the program. The first chapter in paper 2 section A is forest management and forest management system. So this is where the real forestry begins, because in at the ground level we will be managing the forest, and the and forest management plays the vital role in. So we will be in this chapter we will be discussing the concepts, the principles that helps in managing the forest, and also what yield should be obtained from the forest, and how much yield should be obtained in order to make the forestry operation sustainable. So here the focus areas are definitions and principles of forest management, and you will be coming across many new concepts like sustainable yield, rotation, normality of forest, growing stock, and so on. So at first you it may seem that it is very heavy, and in some cases it is heavy, but if you focus on the PYQs and the selected portions that are important from the exam point of view, you won't face any difficulty in this. So what is the preparation strategy for this portion? So focus on clear and concise definition, because definitions are the key in this chapter. So you should go through the PYQs and select that what portion is important for exam point of view, and complete that portion very well. Like prepare the definition, prepare the diagrams, and prepare the numericals also. There are numericals and in some questions, so do that very well. Okay, so this is in paper 2, this is one of the heaviest chapter, but if you do selectively and concisely, it won't be an issue. So second chapter of the paper 2 section A is the forest working plan. So you might have a rough idea about that, what a working plan is. Working plan is basically a written scheme that helps in managing the forest. All the management operations are done accordingly to these working plans. These are prepared at divisional level and for 10 years. So from the exam perspective, it is very important, because every year some 1 to 2 questions are asked, and the themes are properly repeated, because they are asking same thing, but language is different. So you have to prepare it very well, and also it can give some further point to mention in other answers as well. So you make the concise crisp notes, and also you can add the updations, like national working plan code has been amended recently, and additionally Indian forest management standards have been also updated. So if you include those points in your answers, it will uh, give the fair idea that yes, this person is aware about all these concepts. So, short and crisp notes on the topics, and going through the PYQ is the key in this chapter. So, next chapter is forest mensuration and remote sensing. This is a mathematical type chapter in the forestry. You may come across many numericals, many concepts that involve formula and definitions. So the key here is also complete the definitions and formulas, understand the concept very well, and if you have been little weak in mathematics and mensuration type of subjects, then devote a significant time to this to understand the concept properly, so that this doesn't create an issue in the examination. So focus areas are definitions, basic numerical problems you should solve at least once or twice before going to a real examination. Many times it might be a case when altogether a new problem is presented to you in examination. But if you have prepared that, it is good. If you are not aware about that, then also you can try to do in using common sense, but at times it might be very difficult. So at least prepare the ones that has already been asked in examinations. And forest study has provided short notes. If you want to go through them, you can contact them, and otherwise, uh, if you are using any source, then prepare short notes about that. And also you can in remote sensing, uh, the recent developments like LiDAR, Bhuvan portal, etc. These can be helpful in mentioning the uh, applicability of the subject in forestry. And also, many of you might be of a geology optional student. So if you have already prepared that thing in geology, this won't create any issue, because geology remote sensing is little bit heavier than for what is discussed in forestry. But however, if you are not in geology optional, then prepare it once, and also prepare some examples that are asked, like in um, Indian State of Forest report, less sensors are used. Look, like these type of examples you can mention. Okay, so we have come to the fourth chapter, that is surveying and forest engineering. So forestry also involves the study of basic civil engineering and surveying concepts. So many of you might have been with background of engineering, so this can create an edge. However, the civil engineering that has been discussed here is very basic. So if you will prepare this for once, this won't create any issue. So for surveying, understand the concept very well, and you can create some crisp notes that yes, these are type of surveying, and this is how it is done. And they can ask the methods and instruments, etc. So prepare them well. And also you can go through them again and again, so that you don't face any uh, forgetting issue in examination hall. And also don't get bogged down that these engineering concepts are uh, here in syllabus. It is not a very big issue. Like the question asked are very direct, like name the types of bridges, and type of surveying, what are the advantages, disadvantages. These type of questions are asked. So if you prepare these questions well, this chapter yields sure short marks. So refer to PYQs and prepare short notes accordingly. So next we are going to the section B. So first chapter is forest ecology and ethnobotany. So forest ecology. Ecology is very simple. You might have already studied all that has been discussed here in environmental, um, for general studies. There is nothing new. But however, I suggest that you go through these topics. What are the questions that has been asked in PYQs uh, previous years? And if you find any new concept, then prepare them. Prepare that concept well. But however, all these concepts like ecosystem, ecological succession, energy flow are already been discussed before. Ecological succession is one thing that you should prepare the well, because ecological succession is one thing because there are many theories about ecological succession, and if you code these theories well in examination hall, this might give some edge. And also, uh, there might be other questions like forest management. What are the consideration that one has to take off while doing forest management? So ecological succession can also be quoted as one of the parameter. Then ecological pyramids, ecological indicators. These are the topics you are already aware of. Then second portion is ethnobotany. So ethnobotany is a quite simple topic. Here you will discuss, here you will go through traditional knowledge system, tribal use of plants, medicinal plants, and etc. So here, some memorization can be uh, involved here, because uh, you have to remember the scientific names and parts of plants that are used in traditional medicines. And also you have to prepare some case studies for positive and also negative, in order to code the examples in examination hall. So prepare some short and crisp notes, definition, diagrams, and models if there are. Prepare them well, and quote the species name, scientific name properly written. You might already be aware over how the species name are written, and it is very easy to prepare and revise. So this uh, so this topic ethnobotany gives a good cost benefit and ratio. Then second chapter of the section is forest resource and utilization. Forest resource utilization involves wood-based resources and non-timber forest products based resources, how they are used, what portion is used uh, of these plants, like gums, raisins, medicinal plants. These can be used. Specialty wood, you might have to remember the various wood types and how they are produced, like which plant produce which type of wood and what is their uses. So these type of questions are asked. They are generally very direct questions. Wood seasoning, grading, these are the topics which are repeated many year after year. So use diagrams and charts for classification, and bullet format notes can be prepared, very crisp notes. So it will give a very high scoring chapter. This is very high scoring chapter, and you cannot afford to skip this chapter altogether. So the next chapter is forest protection and wildlife biology. So forest protection uh, is a little bit technical, because you have to remember the names of insect, pest, and associated plant species, what type of nursery diseases are there, and what causes them, and also some examples can be quoted from recent past and earlier times, like the Sal hardwood borer uh, in Madhya Pradesh in 90s. So these type of example can be quoted, and many main topics which are uh, asked are forest fire control methods, grazing, and nursery diseases. And if you prepare these things, and in you can also quote these examples in other questions also. Like if you have prepared nursery diseases for conifer forest or cheed pine, that is Pinus roxburghi. So if a specific question is asked about Pinus roxburghi elsewhere, you can also mention these type of examples. So this gives a fair advantage to the candidate, because it appears that yes, this candidate has prepared well. The second portion is wildlife biology. So wildlife biology is there are topics like wildlife behavior, census methods, conservation categories. The questions are not very much in examination paper from this subchapter. But however, if you want to prepare, because this is an interesting topic, you can go through tiger assessment report, because they have explained these census methods, conservation categories well. So memorize key pest and associated plant species, and the crisp note prepare crisp notes and summary charts, diagrams, so that you can go through these topics again and again. And don't try to memorize in one go. Take time, memorize bit by bit. Use mnemonics in order to remember these things. But if you have done these things properly, then you will get a moderate score in forestry. So the next chapter is forest economics and legislation. So there are two subchapters: forest economics and legislation. Forest economics is relatively simple and a little bit conceptual uh, uh, part, because the valuation, forest valuation, these are cost benefits analysis, economic yields. These are very intuitive topics, and there might be some formulas involved, but they are not very much. And lately, some obscure questions are asked from these topics, like what are the valuation methods of forest. So prepare these things also and go through the PYQs. What are the obscure questions that has been asked, and that have probability of getting asked again. However, uh, in a forest legislation part, so it is very important chapter, because we as a forest officer will be dealing with these acts and forest policies. So prepare these important acts like Forest Act, Forest Conservation Act, Wildlife Protection Act well, and if possible, remember the sections. And if it is very heavy for you, then prepare some 5 to 6 sections that are relevant. But however, if you can prepare, then prepare the sections, because they have many times already directly asked about the sections only. And if you are uh, aware about the sections, then it will give an real edge in the examination. So, like myself, I have ignored this chapter in my earlier attempts, and I used to skip the questions that are from forest legislation because I was scared of the topic. But when already prepared, I prepared some short notes, each one page notes for each act, and I have um, gone through that again and again. And when prepared well, this gave me an extra edge. Like the confidence was also there, and also I was able to prepare the question well, attempt the question well. So I will advise that Prepare some short notes related to each act, prepare some mnemonics, prepare flashcards, try to remember these important sections and provisions, and recreate that in exam well. You will, and you are good to go. So, this was the discussion related to paper 2. So, some personal observation that I want to discuss, which I have, uh, which I have realized during my course of preparation, that in forestry you can't go after each and everything. You have to focus on only high yield content, because uh, like every subject, forestry is also endless. So you have to devote the time according to your needs. You are here to prepare for the Indian Forest Service examination. So avoid spending excessive time on obscure facts or rare examples. Cost benefit ratio is low. This is very unlikely that that certain topic will be asked. You don't have to go through chase those topics, because it may distract you from more important core topics. You can't remember each and everything to the examination hall. It is not humanly possible. Second is the master the repeated themes. So the themes which are repeated year after year, you have to master them first. You don't just attempt the questions. You attempt them in graceful manner. Like all the diagrams, all the examples, all the points are properly organized and given with in with suitable language. So you have to prepare those topics in that manner, because these are the topics that define that what will be your marks in forestry. So like there are very sure short scoring areas. You can't afford to skip those things. Find them and prepare them very well. Thirdly is accept the role of memorization. A lot of memorization is involved. Don't uh, complain that no, memorization is not my cup of tea. If memorization is not your cup of tea, then prepare some, like uh, include some hacks. Use mnemonics, use flashcard, use something, because you will have to write those things, and without memorization you can't write the name of species, you can't write the name of scientific names or anything. So some memorization is that, and accept that and move on with the life. Then practice makes the difference. So regular get a regular answer writing schedule uh, by yourself, or if with any institute. If you want to do it yourself, solve pyqs, because these are the questions that will be in the real examination hall. And practice diagram. If you are not very comfortable with making diagrams in good manner, practice it beforehand, and try to solve some question paper because before the examination, uh, because there will be time pressure also. You are not You have to write in speed, then you have to think, you have to recreate what you have memorized, so it can be real issue. However, there is not very time pressure like in the civil services examination, but some time pressure is there. So this was all from my side. I am uh, grateful that I have presented the session to you guys. And these are the courses offered by Forest Study. And if you want any help uh, from Forest Study regarding your IFS preparation, you can contact them. And if you want to contact me, these are my Telegram ID and Telegram channel. You can join these channel this channel for more updates, and we will remain connected. Thank you, guys. Thank you.